Onward, Christian soldiers, marching on to war, with the cross of Jesus, marching on before. Yeah, right. And if you believe that, I've got some oceanfront property in Arizona that I'll sell to you real cheap. Greetings, everyone. DFG, coming to you from the graveyard. Hey guys, I just want to take a moment and talk to you, a little bit about what's going on with Christianity, and most importantly, Christianity in the so-called, black church. Now, let me give you some narrative around this. First of all, when you look at the First Amendment, the first article of the Bill of Rights, it says, matter of fact, let's read it. How about that? It says, Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. So, okay, we get it. It's a government, it is a government established constitution, institution, religion is. All right? So we get that. And so we also get that at the time that this was written, so-called people of color who look like me, Native Americans, were considered slaves or non-citizens of the United States. And so we realize that Christianity, and as one of many religions, but we do know that in the United States, Christianity is the primary religion, okay? And the forefathers of the United States pretty much established that. In every article that you go back and look at and read, you'll see that they clearly explain that Christianity is the primary religion, although they do not reject or deny others the right to practice their religions. So to my white audience, I get it. Christianity is your thing, and not only is it your thing, you sold it, to the natives of the land and the African slaves that came here. You pretty much, through the colonization aspects of establishing, making America great, a religion to make sure that we domesticated the savages, right? The heathens. That's what they were called. When I was a little boy, used to call the Native Americans the savage beast. Or they would call Africans jungle beast. So, I'm good, you good. We know I'm right about this, so I'm not taking it personal. I'm just regurgitating the facts. So now we've got that established. Religion, what religion is, who was established for, how it was used as a weapon against, so-called people of color and Africans. We understand the necessity of it. In addition to that, in the early 2000s, we also recognized that our wonderful, ex-president George Bush Jr. had what he called faith-based initiative, a religious, agenda that pretty much said if you're going to run a mega church or you're going to run a medium-sized church, then you're going to follow the narrative that we put out. And that narrative is we're not going to speak against murder. We're not going to speak against, poverty. We're not going to speak against adultery. We're not going to speak against abortions. We're not going to speak against homosexuality or anything else that might kind of get, civilization on the right track. We're going to leave all of that off, and we're pretty much going to have a grace gospel that just do whatever the hell you want to do. Because after all, Jesus, the blonde hair, blue-eyed bearded guy, he's good with that. You follow me? So I get what George Bush did and how, cunning he was and pushing that out there. On the other side of it is a little disappointing, disingenuous of the so-called black clergy who pretty much became agents, for the government and pushed this faith-based initiative, Grace Gospel. I'm talking about the Crestful Dollars. You can go in their churches now, T.D. Jakes. You can go back into, Charles Ellis, the one who was groping Adriana Grande, the one who had his arm. He just couldn't get his arms off of her at Aretha Franklin's, funeral when she sung, "You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman." A soul song about a woman in an intimate relationship with a man, a sexual relationship, saying that man, when he makes love to her, makes her feel like a natural woman. This is what they're singing at Aretha Franklin's funerals, wake services. Wow. Boy, I think that's an all-time low if you think about it. And then you get old Bishop Charles Ellis. I know you are. You're the head of the Pentecostal Assemblies of the World, I think. Or I think it's the Pentecostal Assemblies of the World. He's their acting, overseeing bishop of that organization. Garbage. And any of you guys, as I stated before, and again, this message is to the so-called black Christians. That's where you have come to now. This is your form now of what you call religion, your form of worship, where you've got the acting bishop over one of the biggest Pentecostal churches, or organizations in the country, on stage hugging up on a young girl after she just got finished singing about a man making her feel like a natural woman at the wake services of a black icon, Aretha Franklin, so-called black icon, someone who really did have a conscious mentality about the ploy of so-called, African-American people here in the country. And all he could do is just grip on that stage and just grab her and wrap her up and walk her off. And all of you beautiful black Christians, you just bought into it hook, line, and sinker. And after all, obviously we don't want to criticize, religion. And don't criticize it. You shouldn't criticize it. Because at the end of the day, you're a part of it. And you're complicit with it. One of the biggest problems that is going on in the African American community, so-called, is crime. And not only crime, but also the elimination of black men or fathers in those communities. And one of the reasons why crime is there is, again, because of the elimination of black fathers in those communities. Because after all, most of those black fathers who would be there and their families would be there if it was not for Mr. Bill Clinton, who also happened to be at Aretha Franklin's funeral. So we have all this chaos going on in the so-called black community, and the very culprit, the very devil himself that came up with the Street Strike Rules mass incarceration program that exploited black men, or so-called black men, African-American men, sitting there right there on the stage with old Louis, Farrakhan and Jesse, Rainbow Jackson and Mr. L, look at my dude, Sharpton. All their nice little boule, corrupt wickedness, and there you go, that's your black church, that's your black program, that's your black propaganda, that's your black faith initiative program. Faith-based initiative program. And that's what it's come down to. So here it is, you got those heathens sitting out there preaching to you, talking to the black folk now, the so-called African Americans, who don't know who the hell they are, by the way. Because as I stated in an earlier video, most of them, because they're so lost, because their hearts become so corrupted and embracing the colonizers' religion, the First Amendment, that says that, you can practice any religion you want to, but primarily you better practice our religion. And if you were on a plantation, you really didn't have much of a choice. Either you practice that religion or you got, a couple of lashes across your black ass, to get your mind right, as they say, get you back in check. And now they don't need the whip and the lash anymore. They got them, what's the right word? Betraying devils, angels of darkness, deceitful demons, demonic, wicked buffoons, teaching you so-called black Christians, whatever the hell that is, how to be good servants of the Most High, grace, do whatever the hell you want to do using your word, God. And then you're wondering why you are seen as a cursed nation of people here in America. It's no wonder to me. It's pretty clear to me. And this is what I'll say. And as I close this video, these so-called black clergymen, I'm talking about the Paul Martins of the world, the Charles Blakes of the world. I'm talking about the T.D. Jakes and the Creflo Dollars and a couple of Charles Ellises of the world, the Dale Bonners of the world. You guys ought to be ashamed of yourself. And if there is a hell, and the scripture says there is, and I happen to believe it, you guys are gonna bust hell wide open, and all of your flock is gonna go right to hell with you. Because there's a scripture that says this, and I want all of these so-called black Christians to hear this. It says, if the Son of Man who is called, the prophet, is called by Yahweh, if he leads the people astray, his blood is going to be required of Yahweh. And you know what else it says? If the flock who follows him, they're going to be accountable for. They're going to be held accountable for following him. It's in the book of Ezekiel. I'm not going to tell you what chapter to go find it. Go find it for yourself if you give a damn. All right? But it says not only is he going to be in hell, but all of you so-called sheeple. And I can say some other choice words about you. And you might say, well, why are you so passionate about this? Because a whole community, generations now, have been destroyed and despise Yahweh because of your corrupt, filthy cesspool church. And your filthy, corrupted, demonic, lustful, demon, so-called preachers of the gospel. And I remember Paul said, I think it's over in the book of Corinthians, he said, if any man come unto you preaching any other gospel than the one that I'm preaching, he said, let that man be accursed. This garbage, this filth, this vomit that these guys are preaching right now, if that's not a curse, there is no such thing as curse. As a matter of fact, you're better off being in here with the dead than being up there with the living. Because first of all, you're not going up there with the living if you're following these devils. But you're better off being down here in the grave, under this ground, right here, right in the cemetery. You're better off being there than to be above ground amongst the walking dead. I think Yeshua once said, a disciple came to him and said, hey, my father died, and I would like to go and bury my father. You know what Yeshua told that man? No, don't go with them. Stay here. Don't go bury your father. Let the dead bury their dead. And I'm saying to all of you guys right now, in the hearing of my voice, religion, the black church, the cesspool is dead, dead, dead. And you know what? Praise Yahweh. I'm glad it is, because maybe some of Yahweh people will be set free and come from among them. You follow me? This is not an anti-scripture message. It's an anti-demagogue message. This is a message that clearly spells out the wickedness of the so-called, Christian religion as it relates to people of color. Again, to the white parishioners who embrace Christianity, hey, you created it. Hey, stick with it if that's where you feel like you need to go. But for those who were colonized with it, you better come out of it while you still have some time, while you still have an opportunity. But then don't listen to me. After all, what the hell do I know, right? Love you guys. DFG. If you love the message, subscribe to the channel. If you like the message, subscribe to the channel. If you hate the message, still subscribe to the channel. Just give me a thumb down in your comments, okay? But Aretha Franklin, all I can say, ma'am, it's a disgrace the way they have disrespected your corpse. They're parading your corpse all over the country like you're a piece of meat. Lays cross, red dress on, pink Cadillacs. Shame, shame, shame. There you have it. DFG, Gideon's Flight.